was waiting to hear a sentence, or even just a couple of words in succession that proved what I wanted to believe, that I had found a misogynist, the ground zero of the war on women. A couple of times I thought I had it. There was one men's rights activist that said to me, just walk outside and look around. Everything you see was built by a man. Ooh, this statement felt anti-women. I felt my jaw clench, but I sat quietly while removing all the space between my upper and lower molars. Was that statement about men having built the skyscrapers and the bridges anti-women? I thought, well, what would be the gender reverse scenario? Maybe a feminist saying, just look around. Everyone you see was birthed by a woman. Wow, that's a powerful statement. And it's true. Is it anti-male? I don't think so. I think it's acknowledging our unique and valued contributions to our society.
But no, it's good to hear from you. It's good to hear from you.
Go drop dead.
Amazing.
Go drop dead.
All right. Thank you, Lenore. What a sweet lady. Amazing.
It is man.
You're a white male. And where the hell? Mark! And I speak to your manager.
I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists. No, I do not believe most gamers are white supremacists. Stop saying I said that. I never said that.
Get the rocks.
Yeah.
Abdul?
Yeah, get the rocks.
Get the rocks.
Probably one of the
Never said that.
All right, I am ready for boxing class. I am strapped up, ready to go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, uppercut. 1, 2, 3, uppercut. Yeah.
Back to Baseball Uncensored. Still to come tonight, Burberry's Valentine's Day advert is accused of glamorizing mastectomies. Should brands be activists like this or just stick to selling handbags? We'll debate that later, but first she's been nicknamed Christian Mum. Izzy Montague launched legal action in 2019 against her son's London school over an LGBT pride parade. Tomorrow, her case goes to court. It's the first case of its kind in the UK. She will claim a pride parade held at the school promoted gay lifestyles and indoctrinated children, and her child was 4 at the time. It's a debate raging on both sides of the Atlantic. In the US, 78% of parents do not believe sexual orientation or gender identity should be taught to young children. And now Donald Trump has, of course, got involved and said it's going to be a central part of his bid to return to the White House, branding gender ideology a cult.
We're going to stop the left-wing radical racists and perverts who are trying to indoctrinate our youth, and we're going to get their Marxist hands off of our children. We're going to defeat the cult of gender ideology and reaffirm that God created 2 genders called men and women.
Amazing.
Well, Ava, I can feel bristling to my side here. Joined also by Paula and Adrian, who's also bristling. Richard Tice, I don't know, probably nodding away. Also with me now is LGBT rights campaigner Peter Tatchell and the Fox News contributor Tomi Lahren. Well, welcome, a stellar panel, I've got to say, for this. All right, Tomi Lahren, let me start with you, because there's been a big burning issue in America now, raging away for quite some time. It's one of the reasons I think that Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has seen such surging popularity, potentially heading him to the White House in this battle over what you can teach at school with young people in relation to this kind of thing. What is your view?
Listen, we do not need to be teaching this radical LGBT grooming agenda in schools. It's one thing if parents want to do that on their own time. That is a parent's right to do that, with some exceptions, of course. But to bring this in and bake this into a public school curriculum is wrong. And meanwhile, Chinese students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well. This is grooming. This is ideological mind control.
I usually do not listen or trust anything that bleeds 5 days straight and cannot die. But damn, Tomi Lahren, DJ, replay the clip.
And meanwhile, Chinese students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well.
That is the God-honest truth, and that phrase hits harder than my dad's belt.
It's introducing this to a group of individuals, especially to young kids who have no business learning any of this sexually explicit material. This is not about being anti-gay, or as the incorrectly labeled Ron DeSantis' bill, don't say gay. This is about keeping this out of the classroom because it does not belong there. This is a grooming agenda. It is extreme. It is explicit. It does not belong in front of young children at their school. They should be learning reading, writing, and arithmetic, not this filth.
Right, but I think you've made your position quite clear there, Ms. Laren. I imagine, Peter Tatchell, you agree with every word of that?
Well, here in Britain, we know from research that nearly half of all lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender pupils in our schools have been bullied. Bullied, teased, sometimes subjected to physical violence, simply because of their sexuality or their gender identity. So this education in British schools is designed to combat bullying and to promote understanding and acceptance. None of the teaching in British schools is sexually explicit, nor is any of the material in United States schools. It is all about promoting understanding and tolerance. So what's just been said is a complete misrepresentation of the teaching, and I think that any parent would want their child to be brought up in a school where understanding and acceptance of difference is valued, where people are not bullied.
Us men do not accept or take this guy in as our own. We pass him on to the transsexual community.
He needs some milk.
This is why I will never ever respect a male feminist to the day I die, because their logic is 1 + 1 is potatoes. Now, what I'm about to say, I'm sure all the parents at home will agree and vouch with my statement, because logically speaking, we can raise and teach our children not to be bullies, and we can 1000% do that without teaching or mentioning sex, gender, or sexuality in a damn classroom. Clearly, this man's father was absent in his life, and clearly he was dropped as a kid. This man is a damn donut. Now, Bill Burr, what do we have to say about male feminists?
You have the male feminist. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Just out of nowhere, last couple years. I'm a male feminist. I've always championed women. No, you haven't. You haven't. This shit came out and you're fucking scared. You did something. You grabbed some fucking titties. What the fuck did you do that you have to overcorrect that fucking hard? What kind of a man who still has his balls is walking around saying that he's a male feminist?
Namaste. My name is Xavier Landing, barista, clicktivist, and freelancer. And this is my video for all the powerful, independent women out there looking for a guy who's not afraid to shatter a few toxic norms. Last week, after taking some DMT and watching Loose Women, I decided to become a male feminist.
Beta male!
Hey guys, just wanted to ask you if I could ask you if anybody fancied a drink. What the hell? The thing is, I love women. I love them. And I don't mean I think they're cool and I respect them. I love their soft hair and their cute little nose.
Beta!
Women feel at ease around me. I don't really know why, but I've been told it's my feminism.
It's impossible as a man who was raised right.
I am Dominic Roberto, and I am the president of my school's feminism club.
Oh, Daddy, my pussy hurts.
Yes, the feminism club.
I'm a male feminist. I totally see the way you see the fucking world.
I imagine that there's a mixture of opinion in the audience. Some guys might be thinking that I'm a genius. I surround myself with girls on a daily basis.
Anytime I hear a guy say I'm a male feminist, I always just think that is the most pathetic, limp dick way ever to try and get some pussy, right? Like that is literally the fucking game you had when you were on a first date when you were 16. You were all nervous and your whole game plan was just agree with her, maybe she'll touch it.
Because of their sexuality.
Okay, here's what I would say to that,
identity.
Peter. I don't disagree with some of what you just said. I think the issue here is age. I've got 4 kids. You've all gone through, obviously, all this. I just think the idea that at 4, any child should be exposed to anything like this is ridiculous. I really do. They're just nowhere near old enough to understand or even begin to understand any of the stuff that is being taught in this way. So although this woman in this court case did this on religious grounds, she's a Catholic, and this is what she believes her religion has taught her to believe. That's one debate. But actually, the wider debate for me is what age should we be teaching kids about things like gender identity? And should they be compelled to go on pride parades and so on at the age of 4? I don't think so.
I was never a fan of Piers Morgan to begin with. But ever since the day he had Andrew Tate come on his show, something about Piers Morgan changed. I never thought in a million years that I would say this. But finally, at last, Piers Morgan's balls finally dropped. He's finally thinking like a man. And I absolutely fucking love it, because if you analyze this whole situation with your cheek slaying shutting gun,
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Because can't you guys see that society is trying to divide us? It's trying to make the man and the woman hate each other. And they are trying to emasculate the man, make men weak. And not only that, they're saying it's okay for a man to wear a dress, and it's perfectly okay for a man to be a woman. Like, what in the two rats' ass fucking in a ranch Dorito bag is going on?
You said that gender is a construct.
Yeah.
What do you mean by construct?
Construct meaning that it is man-made, meaning that there's no
Man-made?
scientific proof that it exists, except for the rehearsal of it in our society.
I'm like stunned listening to you guys right now.
Yeah.
About it's okay for men to be emotional. I never, growing up, I never thought I would see the day when I would hear men agreeing to become like a woman.
Well, look,
rather
again,
than to be
as a black man.
Let me ask this.
Yeah.
Why is it that in society today there are people who are trying to destroy masculinity but not destroy women?
Well,
they're trying to turn men into women, but not women.
Let's
men.
go to that question.
Why
because
is that?
It's a great question.
First of all, have you noticed that?
I think I understand what you're saying,
So
but
you
I disagree with the way you're phrasing
But you
it.
notice this happening, right?
I notice what's happening is people are breaking down the construct. And so, you look at
Well,
slavery.
why are they turning men into girls?
Well, you look at slavery, and I don't know who they is, but you look at slavery.
The man hated feminists and weak men and
feminists
and the
are just
media and stuff like that.
So look,
why are they turning?
let's go back
Why are they
to
turning men into girls, and why are men accepting it? I would never want to be a girl.
Right. Well, you're missing out.
Beta.
I would never want to be a girl. Right. Well, you're missing out.
No. Beta male.
Now, if we discard and throw away traditional core values, you will slowly start to see society burn to the fucking ground. Now, I need you guys to fasten your seatbelts and buckle the fuck up, because it's about to get deep. Now, if you guys look at the Catholic religion, Christianity, the Bible, and the Quran, they all strictly follow the traditional core values. Now, if we go against it, you do the math. What is the opposite of the Bible? What is the opposite of heaven? What is the opposite of God? Satan and the devil. That is what they're trying to push amongst our youth. It's an agenda. Now, gentlemen, feminists be like, oh, it's weak for men to go to the gym. Feminists will literally shame men for going to the gym.
Top of guys have small.
So the guys that go to the gym, they have small dicks.
Why?
I don't know, like all the time, like they always do. Like even if you ask girls, ask them, they'll say they do have small dicks.
Have you guys ever noticed? It's always the damn threes. The girl who is ass cheeks ugly. Like, what's next? Feminists will see a man sneeze. Achoo! Oh my God, he raped me with his nose. And it's funny because when a man goes to the gym, it's considered toxic masculinity.
Scotty has joined us now. Hi, Scotty. Thanks for coming in. Just give us your verdicts, in essence here. Is male superiority, is it confined to an anachronistic corner of our gender, or is it hardwired into the male brain?
I think it's much darker than that. I think it's much sinister than that. I think men in this country, and let's talk about this country, men are socialized to be a hegemonic version of masculinity. So they're told they have to be violent, that they have to dominate, that they are to be leaders. And we've created cultures that endorse that. And so we're witnessing the effects of that. It's embarrassing, actually, that we've got like prolific Hollywood film stars who are saying it's now time that we listen to women. Actually, we need to do more than that. You know, like, it would be really easy and in their capacity to be able to sign contracts in which they see the contracts of other women that are playing alongside them and make sure they're being paid the same
And you don't
amount.
see any signs of attitudes changing. Is it a generational thing to any degree at all?
I think it's far too simplistic. I think my daily experience as a big, fat, queer femme of like existing in this world is one of violence, of people taking photographs of me in public space, of trucks veering onto the road so people can shout out expletives at me, of having like every day having a series of being ridiculed. In fact, actually, I was on the phone to the non-emergency police line reporting a homophobic hate crime whilst another was taking place to me. That is how much I and other people like me have to deal with.
You do what you do with your arts. Have you got anything else by way of a solution or the beginnings of an answer to how to make things better from your point of view?
Well, that's a difficult question because, you know, to some extent, like, I am a victim of masculinity in a way because of the aggressions that I put up with on a day-to-day basis. Why is it that, like us, why is it like queer, trans, non-binary people, why is it us who's got to come up with the theories to be eloquent enough to be able to say, this is how we disable toxic masculinity? Actually, this has got to come from within. Men have got to acknowledge their privilege, and I want them to hand over power, and also I want them to hand over some platform. I'm really up for like trying a matriarchy. We've done patriarchy for a long time, hasn't really worked.
Okay, Michael, what do you think? Because obviously I'm completely enlightened. I don't need to be told about this.
I think I've heard a great deal of rubbish in the last few moments. I mean, men are not trained to be dominant and violent. I was trained to obey a woman who was my leader, who was Margaret Thatcher. And in the present world, we have a female...
Tories love to do that,
we have
don't
a
they?
female queen, we have a female prime minister.
A female queen, a woman who was unelected.
We have a female First Minister of Scotland. We have a female leader of the Conservative Party in Scotland. We have a female
21%.
leader of the Labour Party in Scotland. I just don't recognise the picture you're painting at all.
You don't recognise the misogynies that we're currently experiencing in the world. I can tell you...
And what is more, if there's one thing that has been remarkable about the last 20 years, it has been the emancipation of gay people. We now have gay marriage. We've had... What? Well, we don't have gay marriage?
No, we do have
what
gay
do you say?
marriage. But
You're not saying there's been a transformation?
Yeah.
The thing about feminists is that they love to start major arguments, but yet they cannot present one single solution, like understanding and acceptance. And that I will never respect. Gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
And men communicate very well. It's just that they don't communicate like women, and they shouldn't. And so you don't understand.
I'm just curious, Jesse, how does a woman communicate? Can you give me your definition of that?
Over and over and over, nonstop, over and over, and sensitive and emotional.
Kind of like the Charlie Brown teacher, right?
Well, I don't know.
Wah.
Yeah, like that. A man can say what he needs to say and it's done with. But a woman goes on and on and on. A man is few words. A woman is so many words that the dogs start barking.
Well, all right.
He needs some milk.